What is the best long-term treatment for insomnia? I was only sleeping 2 to 3 hours per night on average for years. I overcame my insomnia struggle. I've helped other people overcome theirs, and this is the roadmap that helped me get there. Letting go of the fear and the anxiety and the struggle. Now, when I say letting go, it doesn't necessarily mean something that you can think yourself out of. But quick little story, every time it was time for me to go to bed, you're just afraid, when it's time to sleep, when bedtime rolls around. You could be tired during the day, just lethargic, just not being able to function like a normal person. And then bedtime rolls around, and then you're still heart's racing, thoughts are racing, mind's racing, and you're still not asleep. And then you really start asking yourself, am I ever going to be normal again? And your brain's like, no. So now, really, just being in anguish, pain, and suffering every single night is time for sleep. It's just not a great way to live your life. But all it's actually happening is just the brain is looking out for you to help you, because it's looking for that threat. It thinks it's in a pretty big danger, in a risk. It's pretty ironic, because the threat is you being awake at night. Yeah, it's crazy. You're only motivated to sleep because you're so deprived of it. The motivation comes from deprivation. And of course, when you're deprived of sleep, you really all your focus is on sleep. So you start doing unhelpful stuff to try and force it. But when it doesn't work, you get this fear around sleep, and it becomes this big problem. This becomes this vicious cycle, because imagine you've tried all these supplements that you have seen, and nothing has worked. Now you start thinking, wait a damn minute, what the hell is going on? I'm not gonna cuss. What the hell is going on with me, And then it becomes this vicious cycle. You start getting prescribed some medication. You go to your doctor. He says, I'm gonna prescribe you this. They don't come to the root cause. What is the root cause? Is the fear behind it. Is the brain suspending sleep. So how do we tackle this? Before I get into it, let me ask you this: do dogs and cats have insomnia? Do they try to force and control their sleep? Or do they do all the routines, the rituals, the supplements taken? Of course not, but think about it. You really meditate on this. Do they do all these routines to sleep? Or do they just sleep when they're tired? Since they have no fear around sleep, they have no problems with sleep. Now, of course, we're not dogs and cats. We're humans. We have responsibilities, but you get the point. They're not ultra focused on sleep. And think about good sleepers in your life. Maybe there's some person that that has no problem sleeping. They're probably they're not care. They really do not care about sleep. What started my personal insomnia, and I think you're gonna agree with this, is being ultra focused around it. You probably got one night, a couple of them, a string of them, and then you started problem solving, and then boom, you became this huge vicious cycle that you're still in. But you're just stuck, and I'm gonna get you unstuck now. There is nothing fundamentally broken with you. There is nothing you don't have this you're not going to develop fatal insomnia. Since you've already slept well before, you have a proof of concept that you can sleep good no matter what. You just think about sleeping as breathing. Sleep is an outcome that cannot be controlled. So what can we control? I'm going to get into it in a second, but the thoughts that come up during the night, the bad thoughts, I will never be able to sleep normal again, are just like an outsider telling you, I hate your freaking red hair. You have brown hair, for example. So is that true? Do you have a red hair? No, you don't have a red hair. So you see, it's not the reality. It's not the truth. It's just the brain looking out for causation and solutions, because it looks out for you, So what can you do when the bad thoughts start rolling around? Just acknowledge them, right? People are going through life not aware of the thoughts they're getting, and they think that it's reality. It's not, they're just passing cars. Thank your brain every time it just starts to look out for you. You have slept well before, and you're going to be sleeping good as well. Being driven by principles. What the hell does this mean? Let me explain. Did Alexander the Great care about sleep? Or was he obsessed with conquering the known world at the time? He probably didn't care. He was probably deprived. If you really think about it, maybe 80% of the time, because he was conquering, right? And he was super young. Now, obviously that's Alexander the Great, but he was not focused on sleep. He did not once care about how his sleep was, but he just got out the bed, out of the slums or of the grass, and he started, conquering. Now, I'm not going to get into the details, but it is an identity shift. Instead of being an insomniac, be a person that is guided by their principles and still does what is required to live the life they want to live. Think about it, bro. You probably are taking life way too serious. I know, most of the times for the people who have insomnia are high achievers. They try and focus, they try and control everything, try and measure everything. But when they encounter a problem like insomnia, and since you can't really control it, because imagine you could control sleep, there would not be drugs, sleep medication, there would not be these insomnia coaches like me. No, honestly, like there would not be all these sleep meds, you know, like, so it's not like an off switch. Your brain, if it was that easy, like nobody would have been watching these types of videos, right? So it's not something you can really control, but what you can control is making the conditions for sleep better. But who is the person you want to be? Someone who just gives up on life because they didn't get good sleep, or the person that will still show up regardless of how they slept? So staying consistent and persistent with inputs or actions. What does that mean? Everything in this world is cause and effect. Everything that you see around you is cause and effect. You know, you pay the price now so you can pay the price tomorrow. We humans are very bad with memory, so let me just connect the dots here, because I'm, you know, talking about cause and effect, pay the price. What does that mean? It means that, you know, before you encounter this sleep problem, you probably did not care once about sleep. Yeah, no thought came around how well you slept. But the idea is that now you're on the road, on your journey to overcome your sleep problem and your sleep struggle. What you will start to do is a lot of stuff. You know, you'll start testing a lot. One night, you know, take melatonin, you take a sleeping pill. Maybe you take a sleeping pill, then you don't sleep beside taking the pill, and then you really start questioning, right, I'm fucked. You know, like you start telling this to yourself. But like, honestly speaking, every action that you take on the road to help yourself and overcome this struggle, you just have to let time pass. And since we talked about how you can't really control sleep, but you're going to be focusing on the actions that are going to push you towards the life you want to live. And the big question to answer for yourself here is going to be, what would I do if I was getting the perfect amount of sleep and the best quality, like the perfect quality of sleep that I wanted? What would I do differently during the day? And you go and do that stuff, you know, and that will push you towards the life you want to live. With time, the muscle in your head, the stress response is going to become, you know, you're going to train that muscle, and you're going to be less and less fearful of the nighttime wakefulness, and you're going to pretty much sleep better. Now, obviously that takes time. And the things we do, the actions we take today, we have a very good memory of. And tomorrow, in the upcoming days, the memory is a bit less. And over time, memory fades away. So you could be doing all this stuff. You could not be seeing, you know, you could be doing the right actions on your road to overcome insomnia. But because you're not seeing the outcomes and the outputs of those actions, so you probably, maybe you do like this for like 1 week and you don't start seeing results, you start questioning, right? And you start doing like some other stuff, you know, that's very unhelpful, like these crazy routines. Everything you try and do to make sleep happen, actively trying to, you know, the intent behind trying to follow the routines to make your sleep better and make you fall asleep faster, you're just actively just feeding your insomnia. But what doesn't happen, the actions that we take today, okay, and the results that we get actually come later in the future. So you can't expect to do all this stuff and then just sleep, boom, the next night good, because we're actually chipping away at years of conditioning as well. This might take even, like, big results might take even months, weeks, you know. As time goes on, the memory fades away, and by the time we get the effects, we have forgotten how these effects came to be. It causes confusion. So you could be doing the right stuff, you will get an outcome like good sleep, but then because your memory was, now it's small, because you started doing all this type of stuff, then you don't know what happened, you know, you don't know what you were doing to get that sleep. So results take time to come to fruition. You could be taking action and thinking, what must I be doing wrong, right? Now nothing is working. But you start changing this variable, this inputs today a lot, very frequently. You have to experiment with it and stick with it, you know? And what I will tell you is this: there is now one thing that you need to do in order to sleep. I mean, keep taking your pills. I'm not going to tell you to just go cold turkey on your pills, but the idea is that just let go of all the routines, man. You have slept well before. Remember, like, when you were a kid, did you care? You know, did you do all these routines? Probably not. So let go. Like, it's like you're hanging out of a cliff. You try and hold onto that cliff. You're just like about letting go. What the hell is this? Yeah. What should you be focusing on is having a must wake up time. I don't care if you're going to school, if you're going to job and you want to sleep on weekends. For this upcoming, you know, few weeks or so, you just go ahead and pick a time that you're going to wake up no matter what. No matter how the night went, you're going to stick to this wake up time, for example, let's say it's 6 a.m. I know it's earlier, but like, do whatever works for you, you know? And then you're gonna count back 6 hours for this upcoming experience, 6 hours or 6.5 hours. And after that, you just go to bed at 12 a.m. in this case, because 6 hours back from 6 a.m. it's 12 a.m. And what the hell does that mean? You don't go to bed when 12 a.m. rolls around, but what you do is you pretty much only go to bed when 12 a.m. comes around and you feel sleepy. If 12 a.m. comes around, you don't feel sleepy, you don't go to bed. You still do other stuff that will just make you relax, right? Now, not some MMA fighting and shit. No, you try and keep chill. Then I want you to be grateful and look out for the good things in life. We insomniacs, when I was a former insomniac, we focus on the bad stuff. We're ultra focused on the sleep. Some people are keeping like logs of how much they've slept before. Don't do that. Don't track your sleep. And just try, you know, at the end of your days or whatever, just think of back like what's good that happened that day. And trust me, there is good that's happening, but you're not aware because you're focused on the negatives. And last action step, when your thoughts, you know, your brain starts to think about all these bad thoughts and everything, just thank your brain. Just say, thank you, brain. It's looking out for you. Acknowledge the thoughts. Not a lot of people are acknowledging the thoughts. So if you do that, you'll be in a great road about there. And if you do that, you're on a great road, you know, and you still don't actively try and force sleep happen. And with time, you will be sleeping like you were before. If you want 6 free one-on-one coaching sessions with me for you to break free from insomnia, click the first link in the comments. It's a community. You're going to love it. And I'll see you in the next one.